we're going to be doing all the books I read in 2025. I usually do like a top 7, top 10. Guys, this year I only read 15 books, and that's okay. That's really okay, but I decided it don't really make sense to do like top 5 when that's like almost half of all the books I've read. So I'm just gonna do all the books because it's only 15 and you get to hear everything I read and all my thoughts about it. So let's commence. So I'm gonna be going by month. So starting off with January, I read 2 books. The first book I read of 2025 was Big Fan by Alexandra Romanoff, and I gave this 3 stars. This book was about a political strategist who by chance meets her teenage boy band crush who is going to be helping her out with this campaign that she is helping orchestrate for, I think, mayor. This book, good? It's okay. I rated it 3 stars, so I feel okay about it. It wasn't really anything to rave about. It was under 200 pages. The romance was cute and all, but again, nothing to write home about. The MMC was wholesome. He was like very mature. I really liked the build up to their romance, and that's really it. Next book of the month was Sinners Anonymous by Somme Sketcher. So this follows this girl, her name is Rory, and she's set to marry like this old man in this mafia. I think he's like the head of it, but the man has a nephew that don't really like the fact that she's getting with and gonna get married to the old man. And his name is Angelo. So Rory and Angelo kind of have this like forbidden age gap romance kind of going on. During this time, I was in a reading slump, so this book did help me get out of it, and it was a page turner. It was slow burn. I enjoyed it a lot, and I wish I would have finished the series this year, but it's okay. One thing I didn't like about this book was the fact that every time that Angelo and Rory were about to get intimate, he would mention the fact that he could be her father. You're going to jail! Mind you, he was only 32, and I believe she was in her early 20s, if not 19. So in what world are you her father? Like, did you have her when you were 15? Like, I don't really like that at all. But at least when like the MMC is saying that, they're like 40 and the girl is 20. It's like, okay, yeah, I get that. But you're only 32. How are you her dad? Like, it's giving you just wanted to do some like incest play, and I'm not really a fan of that. So I didn't like that part. That one had me covering up, shivering in my timbers. I didn't really mess with that. But we move on. It's okay. Next month we have February, which I only read 1 book, but that book was probably in my top 5, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This book, kind of exquisite. So I rated this 4.75 stars. So this book is about Josiah and Yasmine, or Jasmine, girl, however you want to say it, but they were married at one point and they have 2 kids together, and they also have a business. But y'all, they get divorced, but they're tied together by the 2 kids and the restaurant. So they're divorced, and then they're going through the motions of being business partners and co-parents while also diving into other relationships. But again, they're connected by the kids in the restaurant, and then feelings and jealousy and just messy, complicated emotions start taking effect, and it gets so good because it's like, oh girl, we know that Yasmine is getting mad that Josiah's with another girl, but it's like, you can't get mad because y'all are divorced, but we don't like her, but she's not giving us a reason not to like her. Do you know what I mean? It is so good, while also being really good at, you know, the mess, the drama, and everything like that. It also goes into some really deep topics, especially as to why their marriage fell apart. And I think that was really well done as well, and also showed representation for women who do go through that and the toll it can take on the woman, but also, you know, spiral out into her relationship, the relationship in general, the people around her. And I just thought this book was really well done. I would also like to finish this series because I think it's a trilogy. But yes, I loved everything about it. The characters, the dynamics, the setting. Oh my god. And they were just rich black. The book also is set up as like a past and present format. So we get some moments of when Josiah and Jasmine were together, and then also when their marriage was kind of starting to fall apart, and then we get the present where they're divorced and they're trying to figure everything out. Oh my god, I'm so hot. Girl, turn this shit off. So now we have March. I only read one book in March. As you guys are going to see throughout this video, I only read maybe one book, 0 books. Yeah, this year was really tough. Not the best reading year for me, but it's okay because, guys, I have nothing to say. So, but the book I read in March was King of Greed by Anna Huang. I gave this 2 stars. So, disappointment doesn't begin to describe what I felt with this book. We follow Alexandra and Dominic, who met in college, fell in love in college, and then got married. And they're living this illustrious life. He is a millionaire or a billionaire. But no, the thing is, he is never home. Like, he never spends time with Alexandra anymore. And part of that is because when he was growing up, he was so poor and went so long, money being an issue for him, that he's fearful of that happening again. So he always wants to work and be making money so that the chances of him going back to that state never happens. So that is understandable. I love the grind that he has, but the grind is overriding the bigger picture, if you will. The grind is taking up living. Life is worth living. Dominic is not seeing that. And Alessandra's like, girl, you have one more time to miss out on another dinner, event, spend some time with me. I'm your wife. Now, does she voice this like how I'm voicing it? No. She's like, in her head, if he misses this, I'm done. I think it's their anniversary coming up. Surprise, surprise, she misses the anniversary. She's gone. She says, divorce. I'm not your wife no more. And valid, but a lot of this book's problems is miscommunication. And if I like that. I think it would serve better if the problem stemmed from character error. Like, let's say Alessandra told him, hey, you're not giving time to me, like you're spending all your time at work. The relationship is falling, it's crumbling, it's being pushed to the back. The priorities is not the relationship. If she would have told him that, and then he knew that she had a problem, and then he consciously still did not make an effort and still prioritize work, then we have some meat to chew on. Then we have something to go off of. Her not saying anything like, hey, I feel like you're not giving enough in the relationship, and her not saying this or not voicing this at all, and then him being like, wait, why is she getting a divorce? I never knew you had a problem. She never had the problem because she never said the problem. And like, now we're just like in limbo because now we have to fix a piece of the puzzle that we didn't know was broken. Like, so I just really wish miscommunication was not the reason why we have these problems, and it's both their faults 100%. But this is the thing. Okay, so you have this problem with the man, you divorce him, he's supposed to be groveling, he's supposed to be winning you back, okay? This problem has been going on for years. How long does it take her to take him back? 6 months. And the man didn't even really do anything. The man took her on vacation, the man basically stalked her, had sex with her, and that was it. And then when she started, you know, venturing out, dating other people, he was at the dates. What are you doing here? Dominic, what are you doing here? All of a sudden work is not the priority anymore now because I'm about to get some other thing? Now that I'm on to bigger and better things, I'm about to start my own business, now you're everywhere that I am, now you want to help me build the business? Mind you, she met this new man, forget his name. She met this new man. This new man was willing to do so much for her, not nearly as much as Dominic, her husband of, I think 10 years. He was willing to do so much more in the time span, the short time span that we met this man, than her husband of like 10 plus years. What are we talking about? And you go back to the husband after 6 months? This not making sense. So to give like actual constructive criticism, even though my criticism before was really good, we needed more emotional scenes with the two of them. In the past chapters, we do get the understanding of, okay, I see why they work, I see why they're in a relationship, they're cute, but we needed more emotional scenes of them in the present. Why am I not getting that? I'm getting sex and stalking. Girl, this is not a dark romance. Most of all, we needed more time with these people. Guys, the book is literally 320 pages. I'm not saying I want a 500-page book. I mean, if need be, but like, you can do the work, I feel like, in like 350 pages. Why do I feel like zero time was spent on them rebuilding the relationship in the present. That is the biggest factor. Okay, we want to see, you know, how they got here, but we also need to see the rebuilding, the rehashing, the groveling, the begging. Like, where's the begging at? I don't see it. I have a theory. The theory is Anna Huang puts out so many books every year, has hella books in series. She's writing all the time. This might not be her fault, of course. This might be like publishing being like, so you actually need to produce 10 books this year. But I feel like time is of the essence, and time is not being given to our girl to produce quality books. The issue here is not the quantity. Actually, the issue is the quantity, because girl, take some time. This might be her fault. I understand. But the quality is starting to lack, because why are we recycling the same third act conflict throughout multiple books? Guys, that's not a spoiler. Why is there a evil man kidnapping the girl? This has happened, no joke. Hasn't this happened like 3 times now in the books that I've read? And I've read 6 books. I think it happened like 3 times. Why is the same conflict happening 3 times in different series? I rest my case. This book, garbage. I haven't read Anna Huang since. I think this was my last straw with her, because I read The Striker last year. That shit was garbage. Okay, so now we're moving on to May. Spring has sprung. So first book I read in May was Picking Daisies on Sundays. Yes, that's how it's actually so wrong. Picking Daisies on Sundays, 3.75 stars. This book was really wholesome. Her name's Daisy, right? Her name's Danielle. Okay, so like we missed opportunity. So Levi and Danielle, I'm pretty sure, are childhood best friends. But basically they cross paths when they're adults, and somehow, some reason I don't remember, they end up fake dating. And Danny is going to Levi's family events. I don't think there's a wedding. There might be a wedding. Guys, in my notes I said they start fake dating for a reason that probably doesn't make sense. And I'm probably valid, because starting with the positives, right? Like I said, very wholesome, very cute. I'm not really a big fan of Friends to Lovers, but this book, you could tell that Danny and Levi, they were meant to be lovers, okay? I could see it. I was like, okay. But the negatives outshined, because this is my thing. For some reason, Levi's ex was always there. And when she was there, she was spewing lies about Levi to Danny, and Danny was just believing it. Danny was taking this as Bible, as gospel, as fact. Girl, you've known this man since childhood. Girl, you know this man right now. Why would you believe anything this liar says? And she would literally take it out on Levi, and it's like, can you ask him yourself? Like, hey, is this true? No, we're just gonna take what this liar says as fact and then take it out on Levi. You're actually embarrassing. Another thing, this book also, kind of like King of Greed, rides on the coattails of miscommunication. Basically, the reason why they stopped talking is because of a big miscommunication in, was it middle school or high school? I think it was high school prom. And just childish, just nonsense. What am I reading? I say that because she's like still bringing it up. Mind you, she's like a college graduate. She's about to graduate college. This happened in high school. Why are we still harping on stuff that happened in high school? And if you're that confused about it, ask Levi. Ask the man. Why are we not talking? But another thing is, so like I said, Levi and Danny, they were fake dating for these like family events. But why was Levi inviting the ex-girlfriend? Her name's Bella. Why was he inviting Bella? Or I don't know if he was exactly inviting her, but he would be all over Bella. It's like, why are you over your ex-girlfriend when you just proposed this fake dating scheme to Danny and you're bringing her to these events, but you're all over your ex? And then no wonder why Danny's confused, because he's all over the ex, but he's also saying to her very like obvious, blatant, non-platonic things to her. But you're all over the ex. Like, I understand why Danny's a little confused, but she's embarrassing in her own right, and so is Levi. Okay, so next we have physical book, If These Wings Could Fly by Carrie McCauley. I rated this 4 stars, and basically we're following Layne, who is a senior in high school, and she is debating on, should she move away to go to her dream college, or should she stay near the family home to take care of her sisters because her dad is abusive. Her dad is literally a piece of shit. Throughout this book, we also have a relationship going on between Layne and Liam. that was very cute, very wholesome. Liam is black, and throughout this book we also get a perspective of his experience in a predominantly white neighborhood, being black and like academic, how he's like thinking about the future and stuff. I think it was a good portrayal of that. This was an interesting read. It is YA, and while it is YA, it also intertwines some very dark, complex topics. So I think that was also done pretty well. Trigger warning if you don't like reading about domestic abuse, I would not read this book. It also has some magical realism in it, which added to this kind of like mysterious vibe that was going on all throughout it. But I think this book was well done. The last book of May, we have The Fall Rest by Ali Jiminez, and I give this 5 stars. First 5-star of 2025. The book is about 2 neighbors who haphazardly get stuck on like the same level of this apartment. The stairs collapse and they have to stay up there, and they're basically forced proximity, forced to talk to each other, and some love blossoms. I listened to it as an audiobook. One of Ali Jimenez's short stories, I always just want them to be full-length novels. I love her writing. She's one of my favorite authors, and I only read one of her books this year, but it was good. So now we have June, the month of Ali Hazelwood. So I read Deep End, which I think I gave 4 stars. And this is following Scarlett and Lucas, who are both on the swim team at Stanford. Okay, let me break this down. Scarlett is friends with Penelope. Penelope is dating Lucas. Lucas and Penelope break up. Scarlett and Lucas find out that they have the same kink via Penelope, because Penelope mentioned it to Lucas, I think. And Lucas is like, oh, I need to talk to that girl immediately. And so they start getting freaky, and then they also start blossoming a relationship out of it. I won't lie, it was kind of weird for me in the beginning, because just morally I was just like, okay, I'm not really rocking with this. What do you mean you're with your friend's boyfriend? But then you're constantly bringing up the friend, even though the friend gave y'all the go-ahead. This is getting weird. But as the book went on, I started to like their relationship because we got more emotional and the spice got better. This is like one of Ali Hazelwood's like newer erotic smutty looks she's doing, so everything got better as the book went on. What did not get better was the fact that Scarlett kept questioning Lucas's attraction to her, which this seems like to be a pattern in most of Ali Hazelwood's books. I just finished reading, spoiler, just finished reading Love Theoretically. It's getting hard to watch. Like, this man is telling you verbatim that he likes you, and you're literally like, like, what? So she constantly was like insecure that he didn't like her, and then kept bringing up Penelope, which is like, why are you bringing up Penelope? He would be like, I want to lick your toe or whatever, for an example. I want to lick your toe, and then she would be like, but like, how would Penelope feel about that? Like, you're ruining the vibe. And he kept telling her like, girl, I don't like her like that. Penelope and Lucas, they were still friends, and he would like go and be a friend to her, and then Scarlett would get mad. It's like, this doesn't need to be this doesn't need to be this doesn't need to be a thing. Y'all don't have to be together. And also, Pen has this crazy outburst at the end of the book, and let's just say, if I was Penelope, we would be fighting. Like, we have to throw hands, because what do you mean you're gonna disrespect me in my face and be like, oh, I'm sorry, this was all right though? And then we have, this is like top 2 favorite books of 2025, and it might be 2. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, 5 bajillion stars. 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, 8 stars, 9 stars, 10 stars. I love this book so much. So we follow Connor and Maya. Connor and Maya. This is the second book in Ali Hazelwood's Not in Love series, which, Not in Love, top 10 books ever. I love that book so much. So now we have a sequel. I'm sad. So Maya is Eli's sister, and Connor is Eli's best friend and co-worker. This is age gap. This is forbidden. And guys, it's morally wrong. It is. I don't mess with that. I don't like that. He was helping Eli raise Maya. Now you getting with her under the sheets? Yo, somebody call the police. Guys, I had the same reaction. I wasn't messing with this book in the beginning. Something happened. I think Ali Hazelwood like infected me. I don't really know what happened, but suddenly head over heels, like no tears for fears. Like, I was thoroughly enjoying this book. I couldn't put it down. Every single time I was picking it up, I was liking it more. And this book follows a past and present format as well. And we're just following Connor and Maya. We know something happened, but we're not sure what, because we're seeing them in the present and they keep referring to like something happened in the past, but we're not sure what. Why aren't they together? What is going on? And then we get bits and pieces of the past threaded throughout the book of what went down. But whilst we're also seeing an emotional connection build before we even touch physical, before we even talk about physical. And I really enjoyed that. I like that for this type of book that was age gap and forbidden, it was just kind of morally gray, that we had the emotional connection first, so it didn't just seem like, oh, be physical just for the sake of it. It felt genuine, it felt in place, it felt like it was great. The pacing of the book was great. I quite literally love everything about it. I have zero complaints, actually. Also, we get cameos of Eli and Rue in this book, and I would pay absurd amount of money to get a sequel of Eli and Rue. They need to be married. They need to be together. Like, I don't see another universe where they're not together. Are you serious? The way they were acting in this book was insane. Like, get married and can I see the wedding play by play? Can I actually be with y'all in your daily lives play by play? I'm starting to get hot again. This book was amazing though. If this messes up the audio, I'm sorry, I'm hot. Maybe take the robe off? Love thy neighbor though. Period. Happy New Year. The last book I read is this June? I read nothing in July. I was locked in July, I can't lie. Drop, Cover, and Hold On by Jasmine Guillory, right? I think I gave this, is it 2 stars? And this is just following 2 people who get stuck in a cafe because like an earthquake conceals them in the cafe shop, and they get to talking, and then they are getting freaky during the earthquake. What? This isn't right. Now we are on to
I get slipped away like a moment in time, 'cause you were never mine.
Okay, so this favorite book of 2025 top 1, Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte Charlotte. Now, I rated this 4.75, but it's a 5-star in my book if anybody asks me. This follows a family who is living on a isolated island. This woman, she's unconscious, but she washes up on shore. Mind you, a big storm, a big snowstorm is coming. They're like, we have to evacuate soon. We're on this isolated island, and what is this woman washing up on our shore unconscious and freezing water where nobody knows about this island? What is she doing here? How did she find us? This book is amazing. It is so atmospheric. If you don't like that, you're not gonna like this book. It is a thriller. It is literary fiction. Has a touch. Wait, I'm not gonna say that. That's a spoiler. And it's perfect. It's a mystery. It's perfect. I don't want to say too much, but I loved every single thing about this book. The family dynamics, the character development, the writing, the descriptions of wildlife. It had everything. Like, and each family member has a POV, and it's just so good. And then we could see some of the past things that they're talking about in the present through the different characters' POVs. And then we're also getting like little pieces of the puzzle of, you know, why is she here? What are they hiding? Are they even hiding anything? Like, what's going on? I will say, I love the dad's name is Dom. And the way this man cares for his family is actually something worth noting. You have to read this. The way this man loves, protects his family, really good. We get to see like all the characters' traumas and things they just been through on this island, and them talking about the future. And then we have this woman who is bringing just an entirely different perspective and also dynamic to this family and the island. Yeah, and overall this book just had such great pacing, and I constantly am thinking about every single aspect of this book, and I think they're gonna make it a movie or a TV show, and I really hope they do, because so much can be done with this story. And I actually need her next book. I need her to release something right now. So then the next book I read in August was The Favorites by Layne Fargo, and I gave this 4.5 stars. And this is following Heath and Katarina. And Katarina has ambitions, doesn't even describe what this woman has, but she has a dream of going to the Winter Olympics and winning. and succeeding as she should. And that is no easy feat. There is something going down in every single chapter. No shit, I'm not playing. Every single chapter, something is happening. The drama. If you guys like that, you'll love this book. There's so many things and plot twists. Did not expect that. And we just get to see the character development and the character journey of Katerina, and basically like somebody who is willing to sacrifice everything to win. And we just see what happens when someone wants to do that. And we get this book in a journalistic writing style, but if I'm not mistaken, also like a personal like documentary, like the characters are speaking style as well. And it was just so well done. And then you also get to see like an outside point of view from like what the viewers, the audience, or like secondary people that were in their lives involved in everything have to say about like a specific situation with everything. And then, but you're getting that, but then you also see like what actually happened. Hulu, HBO, Peacock, they're calling. Now we have September. So in September, I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Boehm Young. I heard nothing but great things about this book, and I have to try it. And if you guys don't like accidental pregnancy, not gonna rock with this book at all. But it follows Bo, and I wish I knew her name. A nice, amazing woman, I forget her name, who have a one-night stand. She ends up being pregnant, and then they are keeping the baby, and then they're going through the motions of pregnancy, and then after. Bo is so mature, just such like a great partner to have during that time, and I just love just seeing the relationship build and how everything played out, and it was just so sweet. If you just like want to smile and be like, that was actually so cute, if you want like a fluffy romance, I would highly recommend this book. And there is disability rep in it, which when do we see that? Never. So I would highly recommend this book. Okay, then 2-month break. But December, I read Love Theoretically. This is what I was talking about. I rated this 3.75 stars. And I wish I liked this more. First of all, this is dealing with physics, which I should have had the inkling that I wouldn't love this book. I hate physics with a passion. But them explaining things, the science part of the book, because I saw some people complaining about it, it wasn't that bad to me. Coming from someone who hates physics, literally, the fact that like I was understanding some things that they were talking about, I kind of loved and enjoyed. So this follows Jack and Elsie, and I think this is on the back of the book, but Elsie is basically fake dating his brother, but then is interviewing for a job at MIT, and she realizes one of like the people who are in charge of getting her in, like accepting her, is his brother. But some pretext, they low-key hate each other a little bit. So it's playing off like enemies to lovers, forced proximity, forbidden, like what's going on? The tension in the beginning was immaculate. The building of the relationship, immaculate. I like their kind of like bantery, teasing, mean relationship. And then once we get to like the romance, it was good. Like, it's Ali Hazelwood. I'm always going to enjoy that. So that part I wasn't mad about. It was great. The part that I did not like was the third act conflict. And I don't know if it's because she just chose to do something different in like her later books, but the third act conflict was very just stupid and dumb and just ruined the experience. Because what do you mean? You knew the situation you were in, and now you're like, I'm not liking that actually, and now you're like villainizing him. It's just giving childish. The third act conflict felt very trivial, whereas in her other books that I've read, the third act conflict feels like a genuine obstacle or wasn't even there, or it was dealt in a mature way like in Deep End. This is stupid and dumb. Like, what are we doing? You're wasting my time. And it happened, when I tell you guys, it happened in like the last 1 or 2 chapters. You're wasting my time because now the makeup of everything is gonna be done in the next chapter. This is stupid. That ruined my fun. Because what are we talking about? And they're like older. What are we doing? The last book I read of 2025 was interesting. Degraded Terms. I'm not gonna try and butcher the name, but I gave this 3 stars. I want to get back into Zark romance, and I didn't want to go back into Sinners Anonymous directly. So Book Talk recommended this, and when was the last time I read what Book Talk said I should read? Yeah, this is the last time I do that, because this was okay. It's about a girl who failed a college class, and then she goes to that same professor and it's like, hey, like, I need to retake your class because you failed me. And he's like, what are you willing to do for an A? She said anything. He said anything. She said anything. And then it kind of kicks off from there. And yeah, if you guys don't like erotica, I would not read that. But that's everything I read in 2025. Again, like I said in the beginning, not my best reading year in terms of, I guess, the quality, and I didn't have that much time to read, but I'm very proud of the amount and what I read at the end of the day. If you want to know, my top, I guess, 3 would have to be Wild Dark Shore, Problematic Summer Romance, and then, oh, Before I Let Go. Those are all 5 stars in my book, and books that I'm either going to be continuing, thinking about, or recommending. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you read in your 2025. I hope it's some good books, and I'll see you guys later, like, another day, like, I'll see you guys soon, like, what you got planned? Okay, I'm leaving.